Welcome to This Week in Crowder College, an in-depth look into how Crowder College students, faculty, and staff are working together so students soar to new heights, communities are impacted, and lives are changed. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho, specializing in workers' compensation, personal injury, Social Security disability, and more. Learn more online at neoshoattorney.com. Now here's this week's edition of This Week in Crowder College.
Welcome to a brand new week of This Week in Crowder College right here on 91.7 FM. Adam Winkler here with you, joined by Josh Barnes, the head softball coach at Crowder College. And Coach, thanks for being with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Adam.
Well, an exciting time of year as the season is almost upon us. So if you could take us through the off-season, what your team has been doing just to prepare for the upcoming season.
Yeah, no, obviously with our fall season, it's not really an off-season for us. That's where we do a lot of our training, and we have good weather to do that. And so that's the time where we get to practice a lot and then go on and play like four-year universities and help our girls get recruited and just play some good competition that way. But yeah, it's been a lot of training, a lot of doing stuff that doesn't quite feel like a game, and so we're itching to get going. This is the time of year where players are getting antsy and coaches are definitely getting antsy, and we're just hoping for some warm weather days so we can get out on the field and finally put all that hard work to use.
Well, I know especially at the junior college level, we were talking about this before we started recording this broadcast, and the roster continually turns over all the time. But tell us about some of the returners coming back for your team this year and just the leadership they're going to provide you.
You know, we had a really good freshman class in terms of just being good teammates, working hard. Obviously, they're talented softball players, but they were just good people. And so I was really excited about that with the leaders coming in. We returned pretty much 3 full-time starters with 2 other girls that split a lot of time, and then some other ones that had some really important roles for us. And so, yeah, I think we have about 11 sophomores, with one of them being a transfer in. And so we got a lot of experience on the team in terms of that. But it will be a new team. And so some of the ones that are returning that were starters that played a big role, Lady Tapp led us in hitting last year. She's a first baseman, second baseman, third baseman, DP, outfielder. Kind of can play every position. Her stick gets her in the lineup, and she can play every position pretty well. And then Maisie Jones started a lot of games in the outfield for us, and so she's a good left-handed stick, fast on the bases. And Bailey Oss, she was a shortstop for us all last year, and so kind of a stalwart on our defense, and so she'll be returning. And then we have Jaylee Hayes and Natalie Rodriguez. Those 2 kind of split time, had some really important at-bats for us, and did really well that way. Jaylee's an outfielder, Natalie's a second baseman. And then we have some other sophomores that played some really big roles. Dixie Gruber was one of our best runners that we had. She stole a bunch of bases in this fall. Had probably the best fall out of a lot of people and did really well that way. Deborah Winrod kind of the same way. She's an outfielder that had a lot of good things going on in the fall, and she was an excellent base runner for us there last spring. And then Jensen Elder, she's our lone returning pitcher, and we're super excited for her to lead our staff that way. Other sophomores that we have a Laura Paget coming back from an injury, so she had redshirted last year, but she's got a big stick and already provided us some power here in the fall, hitting a couple home runs. And then we had a transfer in from Lindenwood University. That's Lydia Feisty. She's going to be really athletic. She can pitch and hit, and so I look for good things from her coming out of that. But our sophomores feel pretty good about it, man. They're just good people, and they work really hard and set the tone for us.
Well, tell us about your coaching philosophy, especially early on in the season. Obviously, probably mixing and matching lineups just trying to find the best fit for everybody. And thankfully, with all the games you guys play early on, you're able to do that by still wanting to win all those games.
Oh, yeah, and every time you put a lineup out there, you think you're going to win it, and even if that's a different lineup than the previous one, I mean, you think you're going to win it. With us, we're going to have a lot of depth, so we're going to have a different lineup. We're going to have a different pitcher. Last year we were pretty much the same lineup all the way through. We had pretty much the same couple pitchers throwing. This year we're going to rely on 5 pitchers, and we're going to rely on a bunch of different lineups. And so one thing that hurts is consistency. As a coach, like, I always want to get them consistency. I want them to have that comfort level of doing that. However, we're going to have enough depth that we're going to be energized and ready to go. We should be hungry. And if we are hungry, then good things will happen. So we're going to play a tough schedule early on, and it'll give us a chance to see a lot of people in tough situations that'll help us out towards the end of the year when we kind of settle down our lineup.
You never know what the weather's going to be like the first few weeks of February, even going into March, just with the way things are. Tell me about the mental mindset of the girls and how they're prepared to play in cold weather, and just how that makes them stronger throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I mean, for us, like, it is tough. It's tough for us northern teams. We don't get a lot of consistency on the field. Luckily we have our indoor that we're able to practice on, but we're open up against Northeastern Junior College, a Colorado team that was second in the nation in home runs. And so early on, I mean, it's going to be tested right away with those guys and their bats. And I mean, they won 38 games last year as a team and almost made it to the national tournament. So right away, we're going to get tested. The hard part of it is for us, we don't ever know when we're going to get on the field. Mm-hmm. So what this teaches us is, hey, we always have to be ready for our moment because games could change. It's not as consistent. It's not going to be a weekend series where we have all week to prepare. It's going to be hey, this is a sunny day. We're bumping the game up to a Tuesday instead of a Thursday. Let's go play type deal. And so you have to have a more open mindset with that, and you got to be willing to, hey, anytime, any place type deal.
Obviously, the goal is to get to the national championships at the end of the year. And what is it going to take for your team to perform well throughout the regular season, then when you get into that postseason play, be able to punch your ticket once again to the national tournament?
Yeah, when we peak is always an important thing. We talk about that a lot in our programs. When we peak, do we want to peak in February? Do we want to start peaking at the end of April and May? We always want to start peaking towards the end, but we want to put ourselves in a position to do that. What we have to do, we have to win our region, which is always tough. We have some really good teams in our region that are going to be probably ranked or have some really good records. And so we got to get through that. And then we'd have to go to a district game and play the winner of another region, which is going to be a good team. But anytime you're playing in May, you're probably playing a good team. Mm-hmm. And for us to get there, we have to get tough. Like, we're going to have to be tough. We have the talent. We have the depth. It's just going to be whether we're going to battle, whether we're going to want it there, and whether we're still going to be focused in that time of the year, because it is hard. It's hard. It's a long season. It's end of school year. People are looking at summer vacation, things like that. Are we going to be focused, ready to go? Is always the question. For us, man, we just got to be good teammates. We got to know our roles of what we're doing, and work hard at that and support each other and really, really bleed that Crowder blue. And if we do, then we will be successful at the end of the year.
Well, we always know when softball season is upon us, warmer weather is around the corner, and a great chance for the local community to go out and support the Lady Rough Riders softball team. Your first chance to get to do that once again is Friday, February 2nd, Saturday, February 3rd, as the Lady Rough Riders are home against Northeastern Junior College. And those games right now are scheduled for 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock on Friday, 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock on Saturday. But as Coach Barnes said, you never know with the weather, and so always keep an ear or an eye on the Crowder website, and they'll let you know if anything changes. Coach, we're excited for the season. Thanks for being with us. We'll look forward to catching up with you down the road.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for listening to This Week in Crowder College. This Week in Crowder College is sponsored by the law offices of Wood and Peterson in Neosho. You can listen to this broadcast again by going online to kneo.org or to crowder.edu. Tune in once again next week for another edition of This Week in Crowder College on KNEO 91.7 FM.
If you live within the broadcast area of KNEO Radio, we have a podcast just for you. The KNEO Community Connection keeps your finger on the pulse of what's coming up in the four-state area, telling you about upcoming events you don't want to miss, organizations in our communities doing great work, and conversations with the dynamic citizens who are behind it all. There's a lot going on around you that you don't want to miss. This is Luke Taylor. Join me each week as we talk about what's happening with the people who are making it happen. Brought to you by KNEO Radio 91.7 FM and the Sky High Podcast Network. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts.